So currently this is the AC at idle as it's cycling through. Go ahead and hold the RPM at 2000 RPM. So what we're observing here is the AC is cycling down, hitting the low cutoff switch, and cycling the AC on and off. We can also go over to the AC compressor and watch it click on and off. So this is the AC off, that's AC on, and then it's going to click back off. And you'll see that it's clicking on and off based on what this is doing. So you see how this is at 20, that's a little low. You really want that to be closer to 30. So I'm going to go ahead and add some Freon. So you see it's now sucking down the Freon. It's still pretty low, so I'm going to keep adding. And you can see here that I'm using the Safe Seal UV dye stop leaks. I don't really like using anything with sealant, but this is what had the UV dye. You can see here now our pressures are a little bit higher, so I'm going to keep letting it suck down. Once you recharge it, you'll use your UV light, which will respond to the UV dye, which stands for ultraviolet. And you can start here at your AC compressor, and you can follow your lines all the way back up. Now, if you search the entire engine bay and you don't find anything, so this is our receiver dryer here, and then this goes inside to the dash, that goes into your evaporator. This line here, we can follow this back. This line right here, we can follow back. This is our low side here. And then this is our fill port for our low side. And then we can check our condenser up front for any leaks. And if we don't find any leaks here, we don't find any dye here, we don't find any of that stuff coming off the AC compressor itself, the next thing to do is to actually look at what's leaking on the ground. I'll zoom in here if I can. You can see what's leaking on the ground. This is just a condensation out of the evaporator, and you just want to see if there's any sort of dye in the water, which would mean that your evaporator inside your dash is leaking. Most of the time when we find a leak, it's typically something has struck the condenser up front, where we have an O-ring that has failed on one of the lines. And then sometimes also your evaporator can leak inside. So we're gonna put the UV dye in, and I have the RPM raised to about 2000 RPM so that it's sucking down max. Go ahead, take off my cap. I'll take off this cap. And then what I'm gonna do is make sure this is well shaken for a good while. And then I'm just gonna go on top of this and go for 3 Mississippi. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. At that point, you can actually see here now, there is a UV dye on there. This gives you 5 shots of it. I'll go ahead and put my cap back on. Put my other cap back on. I'm gonna shut the hood and we're gonna test drive it home. And hopefully by the time we get home, we have a leak detected. So this is the low side cap. So this is what we filled. And after we filled the low side cap, you see here, this is what you're looking for. It's gonna be a really bright UV dye. It's gonna show up very, very well with a UV light or a black light. And you're gonna chase all through the AC system until you find your leak. Now what was interesting was when we came over to the high side here, which we didn't touch at all, when we pulled this cap off, go ahead and pull that off. When we pulled this cap off here, we heard an audible hiss and we had a bunch of UV dye, which tells us that this high side cap is leaking on us and causing the very slow leak that we're experiencing here. So we're gonna go ahead and let the AC run some more and double check and make sure that there's no additional signs of the AC leak. So as you're removing this, there shouldn't be any noise. If there's any noise, that means that the Schrader valve inside there for the AC is leaking. So we're gonna be quiet and listen. That's what you wanna hear, nothing. So you can see here that without the UV light on, you don't see anything. But then as soon as you turn on the UV light, you can see here that it's lighting up and it's turning that UV color. But with the regular light, you can't see it. So that's the importance of having that UV kit there. See, that's your Schrader valve, and you can see how it's adjusted there, that flat bar. That's how it snugs up.